I talked to the fire chief a little bit earlier. He said crews are still working on dismantling this, and that's what I was ready to report to you here right before the 6th, but now it's looking like that story is beginning to change. I know you'd mentioned there's been a couple evacuations that have been happening here over the last couple hours. You can see it all here behind me. Police tell me a 23-year-old man was hit in this area tonight. This is where the nerve center of all of this firefighting effort has been. I'll draw your attention behind me here to the Gordon Volunteer Fire Department. We've seen many trucks come in here throughout the course of the day. Did talk with the sheriff a couple hours ago. He did confirm for me tonight that Lars Helgeson is here in the Jackson County Jail. You know, a lot of time can be spent waiting here in the security line, but for passengers that register and qualify for a new program called TSA PreCheck, that wait time can be cut significantly. It's been a frustrating day for many, but also a frustrating day because of damage as well. I picked up this tree branch from the tree that you see here behind me, and this is stuff we're seeing all across the Chippewa Valley tonight. This is going to go for 25 hours, and I just want to show you some of the things that these guys have already been working on down here. Very, very beautiful works of art. Just to give you an idea of how much that is, we've laid out 47 envelopes here on the floor. Imagine these filled with coupons totaling more than $100,000. Big thing to see when you come out here tonight and tomorrow, 7:45, the sauerkraut eating contest. Something I think I'm going to go check out, maybe not quite partake in, Chris.
New at 10, it's more than just a close call. A semi sideswipes a State Patrol cruiser, just missing the trooper on the other side. It's a dangerous situation officers face daily on Wisconsin's roads and highways. Now the DOT hopes this video will send a simple message: move over. The DOT put that video on its YouTube page today, a visual reminder about Wisconsin's move over law.
It requires you to switch lanes or slow down when emergency vehicles are stopped on the side of the road. One trooper we talked to tonight says while there are fewer deaths because of it, there's still work to be done. WEAU's Kevin Hurd explains in our big story.
On the World Wide Web, there's nothing that grabs attention like the unexpected. And so is the case with this dash cam vid showing a Wisconsin state trooper nearly hit and killed by a semi on a traffic stop.
They always talk about having eyes in the back of your head, and or a sixth sense.
Lieutenant Jeff Lorenz has been with the State Patrol for 30 years and is not shocked, only relieved the trooper in this video wasn't hurt or killed. He's seen many close calls like this before.
And they say, hey, LT, I'm really sorry about the car. I said, man, I can get cars, I can't get you, another you.
Wisconsin's move over law requires drivers to change lanes when emergency vehicles are on the side of the highway. While he says fatalities are down, there's still room for improvement.
We're much better at this, but we're not that where we want to be.
To get a sense of how powerful this video is, we stopped at this rest stop in Menominee to talk to people. Many of them just got off the interstate and will soon be getting right back on again.
Frightening that people don't realize how close they are to other vehicles on the edge of the road and how easy it is to hit them.
Seems like a pretty common sense thing to not sideswipe a police car.
The video leaving a lasting impression.
And that was something.
And if it's this image that doesn't do that, perhaps this one will. A memorial to Trooper Debbie McMenamin, Lieutenant Lorenz's colleague, hit and killed by a car during a traffic stop in 1989.
She went up to the vehicle to issue the warning, and on her way back she was struck and killed by a minivan.
Even Lorenz himself says he's been hit 5 times while in his cruiser, proof that if not careful, your wheels can easily become a deadly weapon.
We always enforce being alert for weapons and guns and knives and all that kind of stuff. For us who patrol high-speed interstates or highways, for us it's really all about the traffic.
Kevin Hurd, WEAU 13 News.
It's a yearly ritual, picking up the glue, the crayons, the markers, but tonight we looked into whether some parents are paying more than others depending on the school their kids go to. WEAU's Kevin Hurd looked into it. He's here with the story. Kevin?
Yeah, Chris, we did a little shopping tonight, you could say, and compared second grade shopping lists at 2 different Eau Claire schools. While the focus was narrow, it gives you an idea of how different back-to-school shopping receipts can end up being.
Binders, folders, notebooks. We have a lot of things we still need yet.
Trista Matson and her kids are still making the rounds. They go to school in Eau Claire, where depending on what elementary school you're in, your supply list will have some differences. So just how big of a difference are we talking? We put 2 second grade lists side by side, one for Longfellow Elementary, the other for Sherman Elementary, shopping for the specific brands and sizes of the products they indicated. If no brand was listed, we bought generic. The lists had roughly the same number of items, but 2 different totals. Cost of supplies at Sherman Elementary, $47.44. At Longfellow Elementary, $27.74. A difference of about $20. Sherman's list had far more brand name items than Longfellow.
I think it's just a suggestion.
Dr. Marianne Hardebeck, Eau Claire's superintendent, says teachers try to keep the list generic in nature, and what's specifically listed are suggestions.
If students bring in generic brands of those items, that's fine. But I don't think that, that it's necessarily a very specific brand. Sometimes it just gives them an idea of the kind of product they're looking for.
Trista Matson says she understands individual classroom needs.
But a more generic school list would be easier, I think, on everybody all around.
And if you're shopping for more than one child like Trista, there's one more ultimate goal.
To be able to save a little money here and there would be great.
Now, Dr. Hardebeck did add the district receives a number of school supply donations from people in the community, and every year they see to it that students who need them get access to those supplies. Chris?
Well, there's a lot of excitement tonight in Stanley and Boyd. The school's football team is making its first appearance at the state tournament for the first time since 1996. WEAU's Kevin Hurd was in Stanley tonight and has the story all new at 10.
Yeah, good evening. I think these three words right here really sum it up. Go, fight, and win. That's exactly the attitude that everybody I've talked to tonight here in Stanley has ahead of tomorrow's state football game. How do you describe the excitement leading up to a trip to the state football tournament?
It's loud.
Crazy. Everybody's been cheering and yelling, saying, go, let's fight and win.
And that's exactly the atmosphere that filled the air at Stanley Boyd High School today.
I don't know, it was cool to see everybody with the school spirit.
Laura Bauer and the pep team put this celebration together. There were signs, songs, even some advice from past players who've been on the state turf.
The locker room, the atmosphere, being at Camp Randall, those are the memories that'll always stay with you.
It's been more than a decade since the team went to state. The last time was in 1996. Ronnie Ponick doesn't remember that tournament.
I was born in 96.
But will remember this one for the rest of his life.
Especially growing up as a little kid, just dreaming to make it to the big stage, and it's finally here.
Everywhere you go around town, you'll see signs rooting on the Orioles. Even at the grocery store, everyone's been talking about the big day.
People are very happy about us going. It's been a while.
Russ Judnick's son played in the championship game back in 1991.
They did a great job. I just hope they can do it again tomorrow.
Out on the practice field, the team is spending one last night under the lights, prepping for the big day.
We're excited for this opportunity. The guys are really focused on what they have to do tomorrow and hopefully come out and play our best football.
Standing tall, knowing their town is behind them.
Community coming together is really a big deal to us. I mean, it means a whole lot to us because they're really rooting for us on the other end as well as us, so we're doing it for them too.
Now, the Stanley Boyd football players are still here in town tonight. They're going to be leaving for the state tournament tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. In Stanley, Kevin Hurd, WEAU 13 News. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kevin Hurd. It sure feels like October outside. Cool temps, clouds, and some rain have been hanging around all day, and it's not over yet. Let's head straight to Fox's meteorologist Matt Hoffman to see what we can expect for the rest of the evening. Hey, Matt. 2 men are under arrest and 1 woman dead after a fight at a bar overnight. Deputies got the call at about 2:30 this morning to Staples Bar, about 10 miles west of Cumberland. We have more information about a fire that broke out at a home in Ladysmith yesterday. Fire Chief Dave Tuma told us today they've determined it was a tabletop magnifying glass on a screened-in porch that started it. Well, it is a Pinterest night, and we know since the weather is going to be heating up, so will your grills. So we found some grill recipes to pin for you tonight. Let's take a look at the ideas. How about a cheese-stuffed, bacon-wrapped hot dog to mix things up? It's going to say near 90. Got my parents in town. My mama does not like the heat.
No, what, you gotta find a lake or river or something. But
something to get away from it. Up next at 10, what is your gut reaction when you see your spouse? Interesting question, right? We'll tell you what medical researchers say it might mean in the long run. We'll tell you how it works. You're watching WEAU 13 News in high definition.